stimulus package. So I wanted to start by saying, you know, who it was and how it happened. In early 2020, which seems like a lifetime ago, the Wet Tropics Management Authority hosted a forum called Our Climate Future, and many of you were there. And in that forum, we all agreed that climate change is an issue, that we are facing it now, and that we need to talk about it as a region. And I think 2 weeks after that, we went into lockdown, and it became very apparent that our region was going to face another challenge on top of climate change, and that was this huge global pandemic. Thankfully, because of that forum, we had a precedent to work from, which was the relationships that had formed in that room on the day, and the trust that we had in each other to work together for the best intentions, for the best for this region. And I think for many reasons, that's why you can see so many logos on the who of that picture there. And that is now a small taste, the very beginnings of what has grown over the last year. And so I'd like to recognise that there's many, many more people who are involved in this stimulus package who aren't necessarily represented in that logo picture. And I'm going to talk in a bit more detail about what the Green-Blue stimulus package is. But I think the most powerful thing that it is an agreement from sectors across our region that we're willing to work together to put historical differences aside, or even differences that we still have today, and acknowledge that we have a common value and a common cause, and that is for our region. So I think that Martin and Sophie and Dan have all done an excellent job of highlighting the key challenges that our region faces. But if you haven't sat through one of Sophie's presentations about the climate hazard adaptation strategy and what our region is facing, it is sobering. And we don't need, even if the Great Barrier Reef stays the most healthy, most functional system, we're still going to face big impacts in this city, and we have some big decisions to make as a region, and it's going to take all of us working together to get where we want to be, because I personally want to keep walking down the Esplanade. I want to keep going to Crystal Cascades. I want to keep enjoying everything that this region is. We have not only environmental challenges, but our recovery is far from over. I came out of TAFE as a 19-year-old at the start of the global financial crisis, and I know firsthand what moving interstate to get a job looks like. I know what it means to leave the region that you love to go and get work because you can't get a job here. So I can tell you firsthand what it feels like to be the students who are sitting in the room today, graduating high school and knowing that they are going to face the same challenges. But there's amazing opportunities. And I said to Martin this morning, actually, I think it's better to call the pandemic a catalyst rather than an opportunity, because for many of us, it's the biggest challenge we've faced in our lifetimes. And for many of us, it's been personally devastating, whether it's someone we know who's lost their life, a friend who's lost a friend or a family member, someone who's lost their business. There is a lot of grieving that will be a part of this process. And it is an incredibly hard time. So it's a catalyst rather than an opportunity for change, I think. When we have these moments of economic crisis, we often say to ourselves, okay, we need to just put hold on the environment for a moment because we've got to get our economy in order. So what we're saying today is that the environment has the solutions. We have these incredible World Heritage Areas that we are stewards for, and they have the solutions that we need, but they are also fundamentally the foundation of our economy, and without them, we can't keep going. So the first part is Program 1 and Program 2, boots on the ground, fins in the water. It's very simply, how can we get people in jobs now that are helping our environment, that have low barriers so anyone can do them, but also have some technical expertise as well. And that can be planting trees, restoring our ecosystems, going out to the Great Barrier Reef. And these aren't new ideas. We're doing this, and our region does this so well. It's about how do we scale this up so we can do it even better. Igniting the tropical North Queensland green capital, we'll be talking a lot about that today. And that's really about how can we invest in renewables? How can we create innovative industries? Maybe it's bioplastics, maybe it's green hydrogen. Can we do new feasibility studies that, you know, take the ideas that incredible people in our region have and get them going? And all of the other ideas that you're all going to come up with today. We've already had people getting excited about this. Reef Assist has seen a number of our organisations really thrive from the funding that the Queensland Government provided to scale up some of those jobs in land management already. We've seen the reef credits come out. We've seen the reef operator science and stewardship stuff. We've seen everyone come together and all three levels of government support it. And that's pretty monumental for our region. Opportunities on the horizon, and I'm using up my last 30 seconds here. We're talking at the moment to, this conversation is not just happening here, it's happening across Australia. And we keep saying we want to be the first cab off the ranks. We want to demonstrate what it looks like. There's been regional deals in other parts of Australia, and now our federal government is starting to talk about what does a regional deal look like for this conversation? How does this conversation fit into that regional deal? So there's big opportunities there. There's also NAIF and LRF and philanthropic funding that are shifting. What NAIF used to talk about infrastructure, now they're shifting their model to talk about green infrastructure because that's what our region is ready to talk about. So I wanted to finish with a quote from the International Monetary Fund, which says, "To ensure a sustainable recovery, policymakers must act to promote a green recovery." This is an international conversation. We have the opportunity to be international leaders with our World Heritage areas that we are all stewards for. And I'm so excited to have that conversation today with all of you and to see how this looks in action when we all decide to work for it. So thanks for everyone to being here today.